Coach Anderson and his football team. I thought they played a really good football game. Obviously, I thought they executed the details extremely well in the game, and I think that at the end of the day, that was the difference. I'm extremely proud of our Rockets. We've got 18 great seniors who have been great leaders in our program. I truly believe they've laid a foundation not only for the success of this football season, but for years to come. I'm proud of what they've accomplished, and I guess I'll open it up to questions from you guys.
How much did the injuries to arguably your two best players affect the offense?
Well, I really don't know if it affected us that much. We're still in the football game in the fourth quarter. Honestly, we had a chance to 4th and 1, and we convert, and it's a totally different ball game. We get a turnover on the next play, and unfortunately we get 3 and out and have to kick a field goal. So, again, it goes to the credit. Robert moves over and plays Mike linebacker. Did a really good job for most of the football game. You know, Junior Sylvester comes in and plays Will linebacker, 2 guys that have never played there in a football game this year, and we move on. And that's what I'm really proud of our football team from that standpoint. I thought our kids, there was never a moment where we said or felt sorry for ourselves and we said, hey, we can't win this game, we just kept playing. So I do appreciate that from our football team.
Coach, obviously you guys did a decent job against Kerwin-Williams for most of the game, and all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, what was the difference there? What did you see there?
Yeah, that'll be something I'll have to look at, afterwards. I felt like we were kind of a gap short in some of the running game, and I think what it was is just trying to get some of those new guys in position. They got into some formations in the fourth quarter that we hadn't seen in the first 3, and we were trying to sit there and kind of pound the box and get as many people in the box as we could, but I think we were gap short, so we just have to see it and correct it. And for some of those young guys that had to play a new position, it'll be something they certainly can learn from off the video.
Why did you decide to make the quarterback change in the fourth quarter, and did you consider making it earlier?
Well, we did at times. I really felt Austin played, well in the game. I know we'd like to have that turnover in the red zone back. I think we had a guy open. He rushed it. It was more of a flat throw than kind of getting over top of that Mike linebacker. But I felt like Austin had good control. But, we felt like we needed to maybe open things up and move the football and kind of get into some high-tempo things. And it felt like Terrence maybe would be a spark. And he certainly was. He gave us a chance. He moved us up and down the field a couple of times. But again, we were just a hair short. We got to convert on 4th and 1, and that's 2 football games this year where 4th and 1 has cost us.
Terrence, what were you able to see when you were able to come out and obviously make things happen right away?
Excuse me?
What were you able to see on the field? You come right out and make things happen right away.
I mean, just from the game plan that we had. It was basically the same thing that they were been doing. It was just me going out being able to execute.
Terrence, what did you see on that 4th and 1? Looked like initially looked like maybe something there, and the hole just kind of went away.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad read on my part. I thought I could have bounced it outside, but like I said, I didn't execute.
Coach, did you think about challenging that, or at least calling for a measurement on that play?
Well, to me, it felt like the situation. They have done a great job. I thought the officiating staff was excellent all night long. They kind of communicated with me. I asked if it was a challengeable call. And, they said, Coach, don't waste the timeout. So, I really do. I appreciate them communicating. I thought they did a great job all night long, really controlling the football game and communicating with both coaches.
Coach, the job Bernard Reedy did tonight at running back and obviously returning the kickoff, it came up a lot of different ways.
Well, he did. And first of all, give, Coach Gano, I'll give our offensive staff credit, with Flew down and, Cat dinged up and kind of, we were a little bit empty at running back. It was huge that we had a plan in place to get Bernard in the game. And, Bernard Reedy has kind of been that guy that consistently has played at an extremely high level for 13 football games this season. And I think Bernard is one of those young men that you look back on what his transition was, what he did this past all season, knowing that it was his time. We lost a great player in Aaron Page. And then what he has done for our football team consistently, not only on the football field during the games, but what he's done in practice has really led to a tremendous junior year and even better things to come as a senior.
Were there some communication issues? You guys burned a couple timeouts.
Well, I think a lot of that credit goes to them, their defensive scheme, and I think they were able to change things up enough that I think it cost us. We didn't want to put ourselves in a bad situation, so we tried to get ourselves into the right call. And schematically, they did a great job of confusing us, I guess, more than anything.
Bernard, how much of that running back stuff had you done this year, and what was that like to be in that role in the bowl game?
Well, I always felt like I could play running back, but that was heavy in the game plan this week. So I just felt like, if anybody went down like tonight, I just had to execute on the plays.
Why was that heavy in the game plan? Did you not feel Blue was going to be?
Well, we haven't had David Fluellen for the last 4 weeks, and he didn't practice till Tuesday. And so Bernard's our best player, and our best player is going to get the football as many ways as possible. For us offensively, for you guys who don't know, players, formations, plays, and Bernard's one of our best players, so we thought it was, Bernard played in high school running back, and just felt like we needed to get him in the game if that was a situation that occurred that David couldn't go.
Coach, losing Knowles in the first play, it looked like your defense played really inspired without him for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, that's our team. If anybody's followed us all year long, I mean, you lose 2 starters at Western Michigan, 4th game of the season, defensive end, and we didn't miss a beat. We lose Danny Farr the next game, tears his ACL. We lose Mark Singer, and that's happened. And geez, we lose Danny Moles the first play of the game. And I don't think we flinched. I don't think our kids flinched, really, quite honestly, the entire game. Robert moves over, plays Mike linebacker the entire game. Robert hasn't, 4 years here, hasn't taken a snap on Mike linebacker. And again, a lot of credit goes to Robert and, his faith and understanding of the defense. But, injuries happen, they occur. You got to have the ability to adapt, and you got to have the ability to continue on. And, I think we've learned our lessons this football season, that is going to happen. That's college football. And, we're certainly not going to make excuses for a loss because we had some injuries to some good players.
Robert, what was that transition like to go to my linebacker? Can you just talk about how the defense was feeling after
Once he went out, everyone just kind of gathered around each other and just, put the emphasis on it, like, hey, we're already doing this for the seniors, and for him to go out in his first play and be his last game, it kind of hit our defense pretty hard, but we just, moved on. Next guy comes in, and Coach always tells us, you never know when you're going to be ready, and Junior Sylvester was ready, and he played his heart out tonight, just like everybody else on the defense.
Robert, talk about the forced fumble there. I mean, a big play at the time, and what did you see there?
I mean, everyone has to, have each other's back. Offense has the defense back, and the defense has the offense back. So and we just made the play, and it helped us out. It got our sideline back into the game, and we just have to convert next time and just do what we taught.
From your perspective, why was Kerwin able to get loose there in the fourth quarter?
They just had a really good scheme, and we just have to be able to change up our scheme and adapt to the new things that they're doing, and we just got to execute next time and just play our game.
Coach, sorry, what was it like to see Dan go out like that? And I know a lot of players kept coming out.
As a coach, you hate to see anybody get hurt, and then you see a young man like Danny Moles who's had the career that he's had here at the University of Toledo and play number 1 of a big-time bowl game opportunity, and he's out. And, the thing I know about Danny Moles is it'll be hard to believe that this is the last game Danny Moles ever plays in football. And Danny Moles will certainly be remembered in our Toledo football program for a long time for what he did through 12 football games. So I'm proud of Danny. I know it's not the ending that he would have wanted or any of our seniors would have wanted. But again, he's a young man that has had a tremendous career here and has done a lot of things to not only help our football program on the field, but also aid it off the field.
It was a concussion, or was it a precautionary thing to keep him out and get a test?
It was a concussion, yeah.
Do you look back at all at some of the drop passes? Looked like you guys had some opportunities there, particularly in the first 3 quarters.
Sure. There's no question. I think at the end, the most glaring stat that's going to come out is, and it's kind of been our Achilles heel all year is red zone offense. And what did they do early in the football game is when they got down the red zone, they scored touchdowns. And when we got down in the red zone, we had to kick field goals. And really started with the first drive of the game. I thought we had a great plan to get down there. And then we get down there and we stall out. And honestly, in big football games, you got to win details. And unfortunately for us, it'll be a great lesson to learn as we go and take this season and see the 9 games we won. What did we do really well? But the one thing that sticks out in my mind in the 4 games that we haven't had the opportunity to win, we have lost those football games in critical situations. And that's red zone offense, red zone defense, turnovers. And, it's things that if you're going to win the big game, you got to be able to execute the details.
Bernard and Terrence, can you guys talk about the red zone offense and where the struggles? I mean, like Coach Campbell said, you got to win on detail. We've been struggling all season on that. And, I mean, we just could not get it going tonight. I can't fault nobody. We're a team. So, I mean, we just got to piggyback off that. Next year, we got to get better.
Basically what Bernard said, we just got to be able to just manage and execute down in the red zone. I mean, that's critical. It's critical down there. And it's kind of challenging, but like you said, next year, got to come strong and just be prepared.
Do you spend a lot of time with your coaching staff this offseason seeing why you guys were successful in the red zone?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the thing is we did a lot of great things this year, but we're going to attack the details of what we got to get better at. And we're really close to where we want to be. I just told this football team in there it was a great season. We did some really good things. I'm really proud of what we accomplished. But again, at the end of the day, you want to win your last football game and you want to have a chance to win a MAC championship. And those are things that we didn't accomplish this year. And we're going to have to sit back, look at it, evaluate who we are, what we need to do better. And we're not going to just stay the same. We've got to continue to get better.
Having game plan for him and now played him, what kind of stands out to you about what Gary Anderson's been able to do there at Utah State?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing I'll say is I really think defensively they do a nice job. They really don't allow the big play to occur, and I think that's the one thing that we really didn't get many of those tonight, and that's the one thing we've done a great job of all year. I think of the 12 football games, we like to have 10 big plays or more, and I certainly don't think that occurred tonight. So I think that's the thing that stood out from a defensive standpoint. And then offensively, again, I think their quarterback is a young man that certainly has got great capability. And a little bit of those big runs were because we're so nervous about that quarterback breaking on the perimeter. And I think that's a great 1-2 combination. And I thought they managed it really well. And again, I think it's a very well-coached football team. A lot of credit goes to him and his staff and that football team. They deserve to win the game.
Questions?
Okay, thank you guys.